We are now 7 weeks into the NFL season, and it is glaringly obvious that the Buffalo Bills are one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. They have now had 3 straight weeks of subpar play that really makes you question if this is a Bills team that really has a chance to make it far in the playoffs. If things don't get turned around and in a hurry, the Bills could be in serious trouble. Has the NFL cracked the code to stopping the Buffalo Bills, or are the Bills just in the midst of a streak of poor performances that can be corrected? The expectations have been sky high in Buffalo. That's why a loss to the Mac Jones-led Patriots this past week really makes you scratch your head. The Patriots entered the game as one of the worst scoring offenses in the NFL. Mac Jones has been so bad to start the year that the talk of Caleb Williams ending up in New England started to heat up. And then out of nowhere, the Patriots put up 29 points against a Bills defense that has been one of the best in the league the past few years. Yes, there have been injuries that have depleted the defense, but that's still no excuse for the way they played against one of the worst offenses in football. Every NFL team is dealing with injuries this time of year. Mac Jones was hyper efficient versus the Bills defense, going 25 of 30 for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. The plan was clear for the Patriots. Don't ask Mac Jones to do too much. Get the ball out fast and take easy completions to mitigate the Bills' pass rush. It worked. Mac Jones only averaged 3.3 air yards per target, but it was just enough to give the Patriots the win. The Bills defense had a chance to win the game with a stop in the final moments, but Mac Jones was able to hit Mike Gesicki in the end zone with 12 seconds remaining. If you expect to compete in the playoffs with teams like the Chiefs and Dolphins, that kind of defensive performance is not going to cut it. And that was the least of the Bills' problems on Sunday. The Bills' offense put up a third straight lackluster performance in the first half. They only scored 3 points in the first half versus the Patriots' 24th ranked scoring defense. This is becoming a worrisome theme for an offense that has produced at an elite level for the past few seasons. In the Bills' past 3 games, they are only averaging 5.3 points in the first 3 quarters, which ranks second to last in the NFL. How is this possible? The Bills have one of the most athletically gifted QBs in the NFL, paired with one of the top receiver weapons in the NFL in Stephon Diggs. This should not be happening. On the Bills' first offensive play of the game, following a Patriots field goal, Josh Allen threw an ugly interception, which instantly gave the Patriots offense great field position, resulting in a touchdown. With around 6 minutes left in the first half, the Patriots were already up 10-0. That's on Josh Allen. Sometimes his aggressiveness can get the best of him. He's never going to be Aaron Rodgers and have some wild touchdown to interception ratio. If we're going to compare him to all-time Packers great QBs, he's much more like Brett Favre. They're both gunslingers that are willing to take risks. This can be good and bad. Bad when it results in an interception, and wildly entertaining when it leads to crazy touchdowns that make your mouth drop. That's just who Josh Allen is. Even though the Bills' offense looked dead for a majority of the game, Josh Allen worked his magic and led the Bills to 15 points in just 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, but it was too little too late. So who's to blame for the slow starts? In my opinion, a portion of the blame has to go on coaching. It's the coach who gets the team prepared and sets a tone to enter the game. They've consistently come out of the gate looking uninspired and not ready to play. They're consistently playing down to the level of their opponents. There have started to be conversations online as to whether or not the Bills' offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey is the problem. If we look at Josh Allen's stats in his final year with Brian Daboll, former Bills offensive coordinator from 2018 to 2021, versus his stats in 2022 in his first season with Dorsey, they look nearly identical. 2022, 63.3% completion percentage. 2021, 63.3% completion percentage. 4,283 yards in 2022. 4,407 yards in 2021. 35 touchdowns in 2022, 36 touchdowns in 2021, 14 interceptions in 2022, 15 interceptions in 2021, and a slightly better passer rating in 22 at 96.6 versus a 92.2 passer rating in 2021. And so far this season, Josh Allen has put up solid numbers. Even though he has 7 interceptions, he currently has a lower turnover-worthy play percentage per PFF compared to last season. Last season was at 4.2%. This season's at 2.4%. So Josh Allen is putting the team on his back in the final quarter as he attempts to will his team to victory. But with the amount of talent the Bills have on offense, that shouldn't need to consistently happen against bad defenses. And a big part of the blame has to go to Ken Dorsey, who has led the team to ugly starts the past 3 weeks. The confusing thing about the Bills is that if you look at their stats, they always rank as one of the best in both offense and defense. Even after the loss to the Patriots, they are the 3rd highest scoring offense in the NFL. and the 6th best scoring defense in the NFL. You'd assume from those numbers that they'd be 5-2 or 6-1, but no. They're now 4-3, second in the AFC East, behind the 5-2 Miami Dolphins. It's the same theme we've witnessed for the past few years. The Bills rack up the stats, but put up duds when it matters most. Just last year, the Bills entered the playoffs at 13-3 with the 2nd best scoring offense in the regular season and only put up 10 points in their playoff game versus the Bengals. There's no doubt even great teams have their share of bad games. Just a couple weeks ago, the 49ers, who have been the most dominant team in the NFL this season, put up a dud versus the Browns, losing 17-19. But it's becoming a common theme for the Bills, not a one-off issue. This wasn't just a one-off ugly performance. It's now 3 straight weeks of performances that really make you scratch your head. A loss to the Jaguars, a near loss to the New York Giants, who have done nothing well all season, and now a loss to one of the worst teams in the league. The Bills have already matched their loss total from 2022 just 7 weeks into the NFL season, and to make matters worse, the Bills have the 6th hardest strength of schedule for the rest of the season. They'll have to play the Chiefs, Eagles, Dolphins, Cowboys, and Bengals before the season ends, and it wouldn't be surprising if the Bills lost 3 of those games, which would put them at 6 losses for the season. Do the Bills know what they need to fix to get back on track? This is what Josh Allen had to say after the game. "I wish I knew the exact answer because we'd have fixed it by now. We're going to watch this film and find a way to get there, whatever it is. Our season is not over. It's a long season. Feels pretty bleak right now, but we're going to figure it out." And then if we take a look at head coach Sean McDermott's quote after the game, he echoed the same sentiment, saying, "We've got to continue to find answers to some of the reasons as to why we're stubbing our toe." While the Bills likely entered the season aiming to finish as one of the top seeds in the AFC, they need to first find a way to win their own division. After this week's loss to the Patriots, they are only 1 game ahead of the Aaron Rodgers-less, Zach Wilson-led Jets, and 2 games ahead of the Patriots. If the Bills lose next week and the Jets win, I imagine the uproar from Buffalo Bills fans will reach another level. Has Sean McDermott created enough success over the past few years to ensure he stays employed? Or could the Bills organization start to contemplate moving on from their head coach? I still think it's too early to truly consider moving on from McDermott, considering all of the success he's had. But if the Bills continue to struggle as they are right now for the remainder of the season, serious discussions could be had. At the end of the day, you still have one of the most gifted quarterbacks in the game. I honestly find it hard to believe that one of the best QB wide receiver duos in the league doesn't find a way to get back on track. And if you wanted to have just one positive takeaway from the Bills versus Patriots game, it's that Allen still almost willed the Bills to victory even after a horrific start. And so with Josh Allen at QB, you're never really out of a game. But the way the Bills have been playing is not sustainable if you want to have long-term success. They have to figure out why they've been starting games slow and correct it quickly. But that is all I have for this video. If you want more NFL content like this, I make multiple NFL videos throughout the week, so feel free to subscribe down below.